So today I have a very, very special friend of mine to come on and share his story. I'm so excited today to talk to someone who, one, not only lights up a room when he's in it, but behind the scenes, he has so much love in his heart. And I want to introduce you all and get so you can see and feel his light to Robert, a good friend of mine. So, hi, Robert.
Hey Shannon.
I'm so excited. From the first time I saw you, I was like, this person is so special. And I just love, I always search for you when we're in a room together. So I always see you and I'm just like, gotta go talk to Robert. Go hang over, Robert. We did karaoke together in a car. We had the most
Our
fun with
karaoke.
Jesse. Yeah, 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 yeah. So I just want you to share a little of your story, Robert, with people and just to hear I think it's so important for all of us to I have a lot of women on my YouTube podcast, whatever it is, whatever. But I think it's so important to hear from a male perspective on just what we study and just how what it has done for you in your life, right? So if you don't mind sharing a little bit about your background first, and then we'll dig into it.
Yeah, I love that. So, one, thank you so much for asking me to be here. I was really excited when I got your message, and just to spend time with you is always a joy, uh, in the room, but also in the virtual space as well. So, so glad to have this moment with you. Part of my background is growing up as a Southern boy down in Alabama, and going through the normal motions of, you go to school, you do the things, you do what people tell you. And then I've had those moments where I felt I had like an interaction or a conversation with God at moments and times. But even though, like, when I thought about it when I was an undergrad and received a message to, like, oh, go do this, and it's like following that nudge, following that intuition. But then life got heavy. Life got, trying to dot all the I's and cross all the T's and do the things, and trying to be something versus just being in that natural space of just being and existing simply because of who we are and who we are connected to, right? And so I just remember being in a space several years ago of, like, I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm enjoying the impact that I'm making, but I know I was meant for more. I knew that I could impact other people, more people in a bigger way. I just felt that within me. I didn't know how, I didn't know when, I didn't know all the nuances of it. But I just knew there was that internal tug of, there's more for you, Rob. There's more, and you can do more, and you want to give more because you want to see more people win, right? And so I remember a few years ago having that moment of, okay, so then what would I love? Like, what would I love to be doing on my day-to-day basis? Like, I didn't have the language of saying it that way, but I knew, because someone asked me a question, well, what would you rather be doing? What would you want your day to look like? And
I was
as
just
I
gonna ask you that. I'm like, how did you know to ask yourself that question,
Yeah,
right?
no, actually it was my therapist that asked me that question. So, because I was talking about work. And we all know, a lot of us know the heaviness that work can have, and for me, it was demanding more and more of my time and attention and energy, and that just wasn't feeling good. And so the question was asked, shout out to Michael. Well, what would you love your day to, or it was saying that, what would you like your day to be like, or something like that. And as I described it, I described something completely different, but I knew it felt good because I knew the impact that I could help people with. And so as time moved forward through those next several months, the more I stayed doing the same, the more dissonance and tension I was feeling at work, because those two, where I wanted to go and where I currently were continuing to get further and further apart. And I've told several people this, but not a lot. Um, there was an opportunity for me to actually interview to get a promotion at work. And that was coming up on a Monday. And I remember on a Friday sitting in meditation and coming out of that meditation. It was a guided meditation by a live person, but coming out of that, even though we talked nothing about work, there was no, I don't remember having any reflections on work, but I was clear as day. Oh, I need to leave. And so I say that for the sake of like those moments where we get quiet and we can sit still and knowing that our source, God, is speaking to us. It is very clear as day. You know, it's how I got the job in the first place. And as also was the awakening of there was more for me to do. I've done what I've come here to do, and now there's another chapter.
Can I ask
Um,
you a question
yep.
before you go on? Where did you feel that in your body? And the reason why I asked that because like it's so impactful because a lot of people, and I shared this recently, I learned that our brain is our second brain, our gut is our first brain. But we
Mm,
don't want to listen to that. So whenever I knew that I was supposed to be in Kathleen's energy, I felt it in my stomach. I felt it in my body, in my gut. And I
yeah.
was like, my brain got in the way by saying, oh, it's to this, and oh, I can't do that course because it's that. But like I knew it in my body and
Yeah.
like in my gut, down in my gut. So I asked you, like, where did you feel that discomfort?
Yeah. I think for me, one, it does feel in the gut, it feels in the chest, it's a leaning forward. And so I've recognized that is that when that leaning forward versus the pulling back, is that when I'm leaning, when that feel that tug to move forward, like that's pushing me forward. That's a something to move forward towards versus a running away from. The other thing is in both of those instances, I felt they started out with I would say like a voice in the head. Like when I was an undergrad and to like with the job stuff, there was a voice that said, and it said, God speak to us how we will receive the message. So that first thing was said, boy, go to that meeting. And the meeting was a meeting for like career development, but that was putting me in touch with someone who then would put me in touch with the job. Or even was like open that email that I was actually about to delete. And then like so all these things, it was a thought, but then like I felt the pull, I felt in my body the nudging forward. With leaving the job was the oh, you've got to leave. And then everything beyond after that was that moving forward. And I don't remember, thankfully, not getting so much in my head about what should I leave? That I just knew that like if I kept doing the same thing, one, I wasn't following that nudge, that intuition, God speaking to me. But also I didn't question it. Like I thankfully, now I've gotten my head on all other stuff, but thankfully I didn't let my mind, my ego, my worries, my doubts, my fears get so much that it deterred me from taking that step because literally 3 weeks later I was out the door.
Oh wow.
Like literally 3 weeks later I was gone. Um, but anyway, so and I'm thankful for that opportunity because I really feel if I had gone through with with the interview and the promotion, I really was just asking for more of the same, asking for more of the same. And or again, like I mentioned, like it was the hustle and the competition within the team, even though like we got along very well, but there's still that competition amongst people on my team that, sometimes it was fun, but also felt a little icky at times. Um, but I saying all that's like I just felt that heaviness, and I knew I was asking for more heaviness. Where I also believed that it was possible that deans didn't have to feel that way. Uh,
Hmm.
so through that, letting that go opened up a space for me to go through my own self-discovery. And I'm not saying that anybody has to leave their job to go through that discovery, but when you have that nudge to like, oh, there's something more for you, you'll never know until you actually take the step. And you and I see so many people who don't want to take the step because it might feel uncomfortable. But One thing I've learned in this work is God's not asking us to be comfortable. God's asking us to follow, to
Mhm.
allow, to
Surrender.
surrender, right? There's a song that, and I don't know if you ever heard the song that says, "Order my steps in your word." And it's like, okay, when the steps are ordered, we're just asked to follow, like just to surrender and follow, like you say. Not to say it's going to be easier, that it has to be comfortable. But anyway,
I
uh,
love that. Order my steps. What is it? Order my steps in your word.
in your word, right? And
In
yeah,
your word, I love it.
yeah.
One thing you said when you were talking about this, and I want people, like, if they're watching, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So I know a lot of us play, like, we fall victim to this, that we don't even know because we're on autopilot. We're like,
Mhm,
okay, we gotta go, we gotta make money. We're like,
mhm,
remember that commercial? It's like, time to make the donuts, time to go. You know what I mean? That Dunkin' Donuts commercial where anyways, if you know it, you know it. But I'm just saying is that we fall victim to it because we are trapped in, I'd say, like a subconscious loop, right?
mhm,
So I know I've recently I've been through that, and now I'm on the other side of it. And it's just like, when you are aware, and that's why this work is so important, it's so good, is because when you're aware you can do more. But
yeah,
when we're just not aware, then you just fall victim to this subconscious loop that you don't even know that you're in it, right?
yeah,
Sometimes. But thank goodness that you had that nudge and that pull to see, okay, this isn't for me. I'm literally doing the same thing. And if I do that, I'm only going to get in more to what I don't like and doesn't feel good. So from there, when did you start studying yourself, Robert? And when did you start doing this work that has transformed? I know for me and you, like, I mean, I've known you for a year now, and just like you have grown so much and leaps and bounds, and it's so beautiful to watch. And I think it's so crazy. Like, it's like Deborah just posted that she's been with Kathleen for 5 years now, and I look back at her pictures, and she just looks like a little girl. And she's so wise and so strong. And she's been a mentor for me in this community. And to say that even 5 years ago she didn't know what she knew, right? So when did you start studying this work? And when I say this
yeah.
work, it's like really studying you, right? Like dig into who you are. A
Mhm.
lot of people are like, what do you mean studying what work?
Yeah, yeah. So when I left my corporate role, I started a business, I started that business and doing something that felt comfortable. And because it was a smoother transition from what I was doing before, I was like, oh, I've done this before and I can help people do the same thing. And so my studying myself is gonna begin around that because you do some introspection in there, but it was with the focus of taking a safe step there, as opposed to, all right, let me really go in and know um who and what lights me up. So knowing more of myself without the lens of a preconceived end result, right? You're talking about like, because I gotta make money. So like that was the end goal of what that studying was. But then when I came across like Kathleen several months later, probably like 5 months later after that, that's when it was like, oh, the clog in the wheel here is me. And until I know myself more, then I can know even if this is the thing that that I felt even drawn to, or that I'm actually truly passionate about, or was just the safe route, right? Because I wanted to be comfortable, I wanted to maintain the things as they were, but also this is something that's come to my awareness recently. Also wanting to maintain things in my comfort and my current lifestyle, but that also clogs up of what's possible because you're still wanting to maintain things as they were. So we think about like maintaining things on because we don't want to go backwards, but also trying to hold that and maintaining as things are also preventing us from moving forward, because
Mm.
maintaining is both maintaining both in the going and the coming, or the ups and the downs. So it was just that awareness there. But anyway, uh so I
Because
started
that could
studying.
be, that's fear, right? That's just
Mhm,
fear. Because like when
mhm,
you're when you know, like, And this is why I love the Course in Miracles, because we either operate from fear or love, and that's it. It's
Yep.
that easy, so easy, fear or love. And when you say maintain, that is like, especially when you're being called to something bigger, and if you have that feeling in your gut or in your body or wherever, and you're leaning in and you're saying, okay, I just want to maintain, that's from fear,
Yep.
right? So, like, to go and do more, right? Like, but still, like, you're right. You do have that fear, like, I don't want to go backwards. I've already come this far, right?
Yep.
So, I love it. It's like leaning in. I love that
Yep.
you said lean forward, leaning in. So, go
And
ahead.
it's not even to say that you will go backwards, but it's just that fear that's
Fear.
just holding us back regardless, right? That energetically it still plays a part of the slowing down or the delay of a leap that is possible. So, not to
And
say that,
that's just your thoughts, right?
yep.
Like, that's just your thoughts. So, I think what has really served me in the way of, like, when stuff comes up, I'm like, okay, Shan, are you thinking this? Is
Mm.
this real? Because nothing's real. It's our perception of it, right? It could rain on a Saturday and it was a drought, and a farmer could be so happy, or it could be some lady's wedding day and she'd be so sad,
Yep.
right? It's a perception of it. It has nothing to do with anything, right? So nothing is real. It's a perception we make it. So I love how you brought this up and saying the maintain thing, because, like, really, who is out there right now watching this and you are maintaining and you are comfortable? Like
Hmm.
Robert said, that comfortable. Where are you in your life? Are you comfortable? I know I was comfortable. I just made a decision recently that made me really uncomfortable. It's and scary. And I said that to Kathleen. I'm like, Kathleen, this is scary. She's like, no, it's not. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. And I love when she says that. She says, don't fall for that. Because then it's just this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So, the studying started a little over 2 years ago, and that's where I recognized that, like, what I was doing with that business was not in alignment or wasn't resonating with me with where what I wanted to help people with. And so I felt even a lightness of even like, oh, getting clarity on, oh, this is actually what lights me up. I was doing this because I thought it was the what I was expected to do, even though yes, I was drawing and starting my own business, but still like under the invisible lines of doing what I thought people would be acceptable to others, as opposed to, oh, who truly is Robert? Because I used to wear so many hats. I'll just tell you this too, real quickly, that it showed up in how I showed up on social media because I was still maintaining an old or older hats and still worrying about what people would think or what people would say. And just having that freedom from that, oh gosh, it takes a weight off of you because it's something we're not meant to be carrying in the first place. But studying me helped me to lighten the load, helped me to not, it reduced my anxiety. Like I wasn't a person who dealt with a lot of anxiety from being able to name it or call it, but I recognized it was in my body. It was how I showed up. It was how like I say, it was even just how I showed up with social media, not, trying to be the role of Robert versus just be Robert, right? But to start studying myself was really something that helped. And I recognize it even today, like you were just mentioning, being an observer of my thoughts. Like I've had some stuff happen in the last, even just the last month, where, I go look at, even my bank account or somebody said something, and while that, it activates something within me, be like, oh, huh. But also now I have that ability and that awareness of, oh, wait, that's just me reacting to something versus let me respond to this in what I know is actually true. And
How do
so,
you recognize that? Can I just pause you there for a second? How do you recognize that? Because we are, and I know I was programmed to be a reactor, like
oh,
boom, like react. So how do you recognize that?
yeah,
And what do you do in that moment? Like, do you take a breath, or do you like how can people watching this like
oh,
realize that? And half the time too, like when you take a second or whatever to respond, like it doesn't have to escalate to a certain level, right? Because, anyways, can you please just answer the question that I just
Yes.
blabbed on?
I love that you asked that question because I literally just shared this within Kathleen's men's group like a
Amazing.
week or two ago. For like literally just shared this with the guys in that group. One is I recognize it when uh I start feeling like, oh, this doesn't feel good. And so it's me having that awareness of ooh, something doesn't quite feel right. Also, what I feel is the heart of my heart starts beating like out of my chest. And so when I feel that heavy thumping, when my heart is really beating, um, and one of the things I told the guys too is that we tend to think about it in those big moments, whether it be, a passion or a heated emotional conversation, but it's also recognizing it in the small moments. I even recognize it when I'm in a group of people and, the conversation shifts to something that doesn't feel good to me. So it's like even just in those small moments where I may not be one-on-one engaged with someone, but like I can sense the environment and be like, yeah, I don't like how this feels, and so it's like it's just practicing and it's becoming more aware in the bigger moments, but also the smaller moments, the more quieter moments of how does this moment make me feel right now? And if it feels good, let me lean into it and enjoy it. And also, if it doesn't feel as good, okay, why is this not feeling good for me? Not pointing fingers at the other people, just, okay, why is this not feeling good for me? What do what's the story behind it for me? And how can I shift this? So for me, one of the things I do is when I recognize it, be like, okay, Rob, pause, breathe, and what's going on here, and then what would you love instead? And I've had this even like during, like I say, heated conversations. It's like, whoop, okay, nope, I don't like how this feels. Why is this? Oh, this is making me feel this way and because of this work and having studied myself, like I can do it kind of in the moment. But that comes with practice and just asking and seeking and journaling. Um, and it's a muscle that you build. But then too, all right, what would I love for this particular moment? What would I love for this relationship? What would I love like moving, thinking longer term too? So that's kind of the process I go through in the moment is that recognition, breathing, because I want to bring my heart rate down. I want to be more present in my body. And also, understanding like what is going on here. Oh, this person said this and this is making me feel this way because, and I start thinking through, depending on like how the interaction is going, like what's the underlying thing? Oh, that's something I need to explore later on. But what would I love for right now? And then moving forward with that. And that shifts my tone, that shifts how I approach the situation or the conversation. And just treating it with love and care. One of the things
Mm,
that I just heard somebody say, thinking on eternal relationships. Someone said that today, and I was like, oh, that's a way to maintain eternal relationships, as opposed to being reacting to temporary, I just say temporary reactions. Uh,
mm. And,
so
and I love this, especially for people with family members that like maybe because like everything is about you. Like it is not about them, it is about you. So if someone triggers you, that is something within you. So you say thank you for this opportunity because it shows you where you are not healed within yourself or where not that it's a bad thing not being healed, but like looking at where you can give more love, right?
yeah.
So we never want to judge, but just a way to add more love into it, right? So I know sometimes my inner child could be screaming, and I'm like, all right, Shani, let's sit down and talk about it. You're all right. You're safe. And so being able to steady yourself and understanding these triggers that come up and these situations where it doesn't feel good in your body, this is an opportunity for growth for you. So I love that you shared that because I think a lot of people, and that was really one of the biggest lessons when I first learned about this material and whatnot, um, is that like, because sometimes you just want to blame it on someone, right? It's like, oh, they did this to me, they did that to me, but like, no, like it's how you responded to them, and that's within you. So because it really has nothing to do with them, it's everything to do with you. So that's really awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing that. So Robert, where can people find you? Like you have just such a peaceful energy, and it's so nice to be in your presence. So where are you active on most on social media so people can go and follow you?
Yeah, so most places I am at the Robert W. Smith. There are so many Robert Smiths out there, so I put the Robert W. Smith. But yeah, on Instagram, Facebook, I think those are the main places. I need to update my LinkedIn. But anyway, the Robert W. Smith.
The Robert.
So yeah, I tend to post things when I feel intuitively led on, hey, just have a word, just or something came to mind. Um, so it's a play space for me at times. However, though, I will say the work and it's not so much work, it's just the beingness. It's just because I have such a love of wanting to see people remove and lower barriers. And that's been like a mission of mine for so long that even when I'm not posting, like my love for that and seeing people be the best of themselves to live their light continues, whether it's visibly seen by others or just behind the scenes. So I love being a part of someone's journey and seeing other people live their light. Because I believe we all have a light, a part of us, because we are all part of the light. So I just want people to live their light.
Oh, that's so good. See, I have the bestest of friends. I'm so lucky I get to surround myself with people like you.
Yeah.
Robert, thank you, thank you, thank you. For everyone, the Robert Smith. What was it? The Robert Smith?
The Robert W. Smith.
Oh, the Robert W. Smith.
Smith. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Robert. And thank you, everyone, for watching today. You are such a light. And like I said, like we can all feel that. So thank you,
I
thank you.
appreciate you. I love you, Shannon.
Yeah, love you too, babes.